What if I told you that the world's largest Triceratops skeleton, named Big John, sold at auction for a record $7.7 million, has a huge keyhole-shaped hole in its skull, pierced by the horn of another Triceratops during a fierce battle, and microscopic analysis shows it lived with this injury for about 6 months, suffering from pain and infection before dying? This isn't fiction from a fantasy movie, but a real fact from paleontology that makes us rethink the lives of these ancient giants. They suffered, fought, and died in agony, just like living beings today. Watch until the end to find out what color the baby dinosaur hatches. You know, when we think about fossils of extinct creatures, it's easy to picture them as these static museum displays, just bones covered in centuries of dust sitting under glass for curious visitors. But in reality, these relics are like living chronicles, packed with drama, tragedy, and all sorts of unexpected twists, almost like pages from a gripping novel about survival in a harsh world. They don't just reveal the physical traits of these ancient inhabitants, how they grew to colossal sizes that could dwarf modern elephants or even whales, how they moved gracefully or clumsily across diverse landscapes from dense forests to open plains. They also shed light on their final moments, full of pain and struggle. We learn about dinosaurs that fell in fierce duels with their own kind, where horns and claws became deadly weapons, leaving scars on bones, about those waging invisible wars against parasites that ate away at their bodies from the inside, like hidden invaders, or about devoted parents who sacrificed themselves to shield their offspring from natural disasters like sandstorms or landslides. These stories aren't just scientific curiosities or dry facts from textbooks. They make us ponder the fragility of life in a world where survival hinged on strength, luck, instincts, and sometimes sheer fortune. Paleontology turns into a real detective story here, where every crack in a bone, every trace of infection or bite mark is a clue leading to unraveling an ancient mystery. And with modern tech like CT scans or histological analysis, we can peek into the past with unprecedented detail. To dive deeper into this and make it more relatable, let's turn to some modern analogies that bring the past to life and show how evolution keeps certain behavior patterns alive. Today, we see rams, those tough mountain dwellers with powerful horns, staging epic clashes during mating season. Their heads collide with force that could shatter human bones, echoing loud cracks across the slopes, all for dominance, territory, and the chance to pass on their genes. The winner walks away bruised but triumphant, while the loser might end up seriously hurt. But imagine if those battles involved creatures the size of buses, with meter-long horns and tons of weight. In the prehistoric world, such clashes were everyday stuff, and they've left traces we can study today through fossils. These ancient fights weren't play or ritual. They were life or death matters, where the loser might become prey for predators or just slowly fade away from wounds, infections, or starvation. And one of the most striking examples of this drama ties into an iconic dinosaur whose name is familiar to every paleontology fan, even in 2025. Triceratops horridus, this massive herbivore from the late Cretaceous period, was like a tank on 4 legs, evolved to survive in a world teeming with threats. Its body length topped 8 meters. Think of a school bus, but with a bony frill shield protecting the neck from bites, and 3 horns, the 2 upper ones reaching over 1 meter long, like in Big John. Weighing up to 10 tons, it had the muscle power to withstand assaults from the planet's most fearsome predators, like Tyrannosaurus rex, with whom Triceratops battled for millions of years, becoming stars of countless reconstructions in movies, books, and scientific papers. Its life was all about defense. Fossils show bite marks from Tyrannosaurs, with teeth leaving deep grooves in bones, and even cases where Triceratops seem to have won those fights. But here's the irony that makes this story even more intriguing. In Big John's case, its deadly foe wasn't a toothy carnivore like T-Rex, but another Triceratops, a kin, perhaps a rival for territory, resources, or a mate, highlighting how intense intraspecies competition was among these giants. This dramatic showdown unfolded in what's now South Dakota, in layers dating back over 66 million years, right on the brink of the mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous period. Big John's skeleton, unearthed in 2014 by a private collector on a Montana ranch and becoming a sensation after its 2021 Paris auction, where it fetched that astronomical $7.7 million, preserved over 60% of its bones in remarkable condition, a rarity given erosion and geological shifts over eons. The total weight of the remains exceeded 700 kilograms, and the assembled skeleton stretches 8 meters long and 3 meters high, making it the biggest known Triceratops. But what grabbed scientists' attention right away was this massive oval hole in the skull, specifically in the right side of the frill, that protective plate which theories suggest might have served not just as a shield, but also for temperature regulation or display. At first glance, it could seem like an artifact from fossilization or erosion damage, but a closer look revealed healing signs, smoothed edges with new bone tissue and reactive growth, showing Big John survived the blow and carried on, perhaps adapting to the pain. Italian experts from Zoic LLC, the University of Trieste, and other institutions ran microscopic and chemical analyses in 2022, concluding the whole resulted from a trauma inflicted by another Triceratops horn during an aggressive clash, likely during breeding season or a fight over food. The opening's keyhole shape perfectly matches a Triceratops horn profile, suggesting that in a charge, one horn punched straight through the frill, causing heavy bleeding, tissue tears, and intense pain, possibly with shock. It wasn't instant death. The analysis revealed infection signs, including possible osteomyelitis and bone remodeling, indicating the wound healed over about 6 months, with phases of inflammation and regeneration. Big John probably limped, enduring constant pain in the area where nerves and vessels ran. Every step, every head turn became torture, affecting his ability to forage, migrate, or fend off predators. The infection likely spread eventually, leading to sepsis or weakening the body beyond recovery, though the exact cause of death remains debated among paleontologists.
This discovery not only confirms that Triceratops engaged in territorial combats and fights within their species, but also shifts how we view herbivorous dinosaurs. They weren't passive victims, but real gladiators, where kin could be deadlier than predators, much like modern elephants or giraffes dueling for dominance. Big John's fossil is like a frozen frame from a prehistoric action flick, reminding us that life in the Cretaceous was violent, and even such behemoths were vulnerable. But this tale also highlights that dinosaur deaths weren't always quick and dramatic. Many lingered in agony from injuries or illnesses. And if Big John endured months of suffering, imagine what another giant went through, whose torment stretched even longer thanks to invisible foes like parasites. Shifting to the next act in this paleontological saga, let's talk about the Titanosaur, one of the hugest creatures to ever walk the Earth, whose fossils keep surprising scientists. This sauropod from the Titanosaur group, found in Brazil's Adamantina Formation in São Paulo State, dates to about 85.2 million years ago in the late Cretaceous, when South America was lush with tropical forests and rivers. Its body could stretch 12 to 15 meters long, weighing tens of tons, making it a colossus that outdid modern elephants and needed massive amounts of plant food daily. But despite its power and adaptations like a long neck for reaching high branches, this Titanosaur fell not to a predator's claws like an Abelisaur or a natural disaster, but to microscopic parasites causing an aggressive case of osteomyelitis, bone inflammation that ate away at the body from within, leading to chronic pain. This 2020 discovery marked the first direct evidence of parasites in dinosaurs, flipping our ideas about their health on its head. Paleontologists from the Federal University of Rio Grande do Norte and other institutions used CT scanning to peer inside the fibula, shin bone, and found around 70 tiny cavities, each pea-sized, filled with fossilized parasites, likely Hemosporidians, similar to those hitting birds today and causing avian malaria or osteomyelitis, like Plasmodium. These bloodworms snuck into the bloodstream, probably via ancient mosquito bites, and settled in bone capillaries, triggering an immune response so fierce that the bone itself broke down, forming deep, non-healing ulcers and systemic inflammation. In living animals, osteomyelitis brings burning pain, swelling, fever, and limping. Picture that for a 20-ton beast, where every step turns into torment, like fire burning your legs from the inside, curbing mobility and food-gathering ability.
The analysis showed the infection was chronic. Parasites multiplied, degrading tissue, and the Titanosaur likely limped for months or years, lagging behind the herd, becoming prime for predators or dying from exhaustion, dehydration, or secondary infections. Recent 2025 studies even suggest such parasitic outbreaks might have caused extinctions in some Titanosaur populations in Brazil, where similar bone damage appears in other finds. Compare it to modern elephants or giraffes dealing with similar parasite-driven infections, nature spares no one. Size be damned. This tragedy underscores the contrast between outer might and inner fragility, showing how microbes could topple what big predators couldn't. And it naturally leads us to another angle, when threats came not from within but from kin, in a world where cannibalism was standard for survival. In prehistoric ecosystems, danger often lurked within one's own pack, turning allies into rivals and even meals, especially during resource shortages. Take Daspletosaurus, a T-Rex relative whose remains were found in Alberta, Canada, in the Oldman Formation, dating to about 77 million years ago, in the companion stage of the late Cretaceous. This predator grew to 9 meters long, weighed up to 3 tons, and had jaws that could crush bones with force surpassing a modern alligator's, letting it hunt large herbivores like hadrosaurs. As an apex predator, it ruled its niche, but life was conflict-ridden, not just with prey, but within the species, where scraps over territory or food could turn fatal. A 2015 study in Peer J by scientists from the Canadian Museum of Nature and Royal Tyrrell Museum focused on skull TMP 2001.36.1, revealing multiple bite marks, some healed with reactive bone growth and remodeling, pointing to fights during life for dominance or resources, others fresh without healing, suggesting post-mortem gnawing and scavenging. Tooth mark analysis matched another Daspletosaurus's dentition, confirming cannibalism, likely in food-scarce times when a dead kin became a meal, or even in live clashes where the victor ate the vanquished. This isn't isolated. Similar finds in T-Rex and other tyrannosaurids, including marks on New Mexico bones from 2021, show intraspecific aggression was common. 2020 studies even noted high bite mark frequency in late Jurassic ecosystems, hinting at stress from overpopulation or climate. Picture the psychological horror, living in constant tension, where a sibling or mate should attack any time, leaving scars on skull or jaw. Compared to modern predators, lions killing rival cubs, crocs eating kin in famine, hyenas cannibalizing in packs. But dinosaur scale turns it into a survival epic where evolution favored aggression. This adds dark shades to Tyrannosaur's image, portraying them not just as hunters, but cannibals, and it smoothly shifts to a contrast. Not all fossils speak of cruelty. Some reveal touching moments of care, sacrifice, and parental love. Sometimes fossils tug at the heartstrings, showcasing self-sacrifice, especially in parenting, linking dinosaurs to today's animals. One of the most emotional finds is an Oviraptorosaur from southern China's Jiangxi province, dating to about 70 million years ago in the late Cretaceous. The adult skeleton was found curled around a clutch of 24 elongated eggs, limbs embracing the nest in a brooding pose. arms spread like a shield from a storm, body covering the embryos. CT scans revealed embryos in at least 7 eggs, nearly ready to hatch, with signs of asynchronous hatching where eggs developed unevenly, indicating complex breeding strategies.
Scientists figured death came from a sudden sandstorm or collapse. The post shows it didn't flee, but stayed, buried alive, perhaps to protect the eggs from cold or predators. This is the first confirmed brooding in non-avian dinosaurs, debunking the Oviraptor myth as egg thief. The name stemmed from a 1920s mistake linking an early find to stolen Protoceratops eggs. 2021 research even suggests it might have been a male, like modern ostriches or emus, where dads incubate, and oxygen isotope analysis showed eggs were blue-green, likely for camouflage or signaling. This find emphasizes that parental care is an ancient instinct, tying dinosaurs to birds, their descendants, and adds warmth to the cold fossil world, illustrating behavioral evolution. But not all woes were sudden. For some, they build up gradually, like in the unluckiest dinosaur's case, whose life was a chain of misfortunes. If we're talking about a string of bad luck, Parasaurolophus walkeri from Alberta, Canada in the Dinosaur Park Formation 76 million years ago earns the title of most unfortunate among known dinosaurs. This hadrosaurid with its tube-like crest, used for sounds, maybe herd communication or attracting mates, endured a series of injuries. Periodontal disease in the jaw causing eating pain, fractured ribs likely from falls or attacks, myositis ossificans traumatica in the pelvis, bony growth from trauma limiting movement, and a severely damaged 6th cervical vertebra, perhaps from a falling tree or landslide. Specimen ROM 768, described in 1922 by William Parks, showed healed fractures, proving survival despite pain. Every breath with broken ribs a torment, migrating with the damaged spine a challenge, and the crest possibly signaling for help. Filippo Bertozzo's 2020 study and team revealed injuries weren't simultaneous. Some from predator attacks like Gorgosaurus, others accidents, with mouth infection signs possibly the final death blow from sepsis. This embodies a hard life, reminding us of dinosaurs' resilience. And P. walkeri's rarity in Alberta makes the find valuable for grasping Dinosaur Park Formation's ecology, where predators and environment posed constant threats. Compared to modern animals surviving multiple traumas, it highlights how evolution shaped endurance. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and like, and your day will be filled with good luck.